Namasarvebhya. My name is Namratha Venkataraman. I am the Executive Director of Agastya Gurukulam. On this beautiful day, I warmly welcome you to our world's first campus of Agastya Gurukulam in Bangalore, Jayanagar 8th block, 40th cross. On the 16th of April, we are going to be having our inauguration for what I call a milestone event in a civilizational mission. Agastya Gurukulam is a Sanskrit medium Gurukulam where we teach application-oriented subjects like mathematics, Ganitam, Vijnanam, which is science, Itihasa, Bhugola, Kanthastikaranam, Yoga, Kalari Poetry, English, Cambridge English, and all the Matrabhashas. We are a worldwide Gurukulam. We have been successfully running an online Gurukulam for the last 3.5 years. And now we are going to be having physical transmission of knowledge, Bharatiya knowledge, in Jayanagar, Bangalore. The best aspect of Agastya Gurukulam is its curriculum and its acharyas. We have collaborated with experts from institutes like IIT Mumbai and created a rigorous, excellent, fun learning experience in the form of a curriculum. Our intent is to create decolonized minds with a knowledge base that is strong in Bharatiya education. We have both full-time and after-school programs. A total of around 400 children learn with Agastya Gurukulam, and that ecosystem is just growing. I invite you all on the 16th of April to join us for this milestone event and celebrate with us. Dhanyavada.
Check.
All students are ready. We can start off with Prarthana and everything. Okay.
शुभ संध्या नमो नमः सर्वेभ्यः स्वागतम् अद्य वयं सर्वे अत्र किमर्थं सम्मिलिताः सन्ति इति भवन्तः जानन्ति एव अद्य अस्माकम् अगस्त्य गुरुकुलस्य मधुमती परिसरस्य उद्घाटनकार्यक्रमः भवति सर्वप्रथमं कार्यक्रमस्य उद्घाटनं वेदघोषेण कुर्मः अनन्तरं किञ्चिदेव अहं परिचयं दत्वा कार्यक्रमस्य आरम्भं करोमि क्षणशः कणशश्चैव विद्याम् अर्थं च साधयेत् इति वयं जानीमः एव सर्वप्रथमम् अगस्त्य गुरुकुलं को स्कूलिङ्ग् आसीत् अनन्तरं पूर्णप्रमाणेन गुरुकुल आन्लैन् रूपेण वयं प्रारब्धवन्तः इदानीम् अस्मिन् दिने एतद् बहु अविस्मरणीय मङ्गलकरदिनम् इत्येव वदामि वयं प्रत्यक्षपाठशाला रूपेण अद्य वयम् आरम्भं कुर्वन्तः स्म अतः वेदघोषेण कार्यक्रमस्य आरम्भं भवतु इति अहं श्रीराम आचार्यम् अत्र आह्वयामि सः वेदघोषेण प्रारम्भं करोति
Good evening to the global audience and all the people who are present here. Namaskarams to all. Thank you so much for joining us in this wonderful, wonderful evening for this auspicious occasion of the launch of the very first campus of the Agastya Gurukulam. Agastya Gurukulam has been functioning for over 3.5 years. First it was a home school and then it became an online school which was communicating a lot of value to a lot of people. And as we know more and more about the wonderful, wonderful institution that we are here, we will start the evening with the Vedaghosha. Over to Acharya.
Namaskarbebhyah Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Om Uchchataha Ijata Bandasaha Divai Sadbhu Miyadadai Ugrang Sharma Mahayishravau Vaha Staushe Om Shri Guru
कार्यक्रमस्य आरम्भः इत्युक्ते वयं सर्वे जानीमः अस्माकं भारतीय संस्कृत्यानुसारं दीपज्वालनेन आरम्भं कुर्मः अतः अहम् अतिथिमहाभागान् आह्वयामि कृपया आगत्य दीपप्रज्वालनं कुर्वन्तु इति अहं
Let us start the event as per our Bharatiya Sanskriti of lighting the lamp. I request the chief guests and guests of honors present here to please come on the stage. And I invite the students for the prayer shlokas. No, you tell the names.
महोदय प्रहलाद महोदय कृपया वैद्यनाथन महोदय संक्रांत महोदय विजया भगिनी
Mics. Hold.
असतोमा सगमया तमसोमा ज्योतिर्गमया विद्रोमा अमृतंगमया ओम शांति 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 शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदा शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते
भगिनी 1 second Oh, that is भगिनी तथैव विजय महोदय कृपया मधुमती परिसरस्य उद्घाटनं भवतु इति एतद् किञ्चित् उद्घाटयितुं प्रार्थये कृपया अतिथिमहाभागाः सर्वे अत्र
I invite the chief guests to please join us on the dais for the inauguration of the Madhumati Bhavana. Madhumati Bhavana is the first in-person campus or the physical campus of the Agastya Gurukulam. It is indeed a proud moment, not just for institutions, but for Bharata as a concept in itself. So, please, let us have the inauguration of the Madhumati Bhavana, very first physical campus of Agastya Gurukulam. With a huge round of applause.
सर्वे बालाः कृपया वदन्तु अस्माकं गुरुकुलम् उच्चैः इतोपि एकवारम् अस्माकं गुरुकुलम् अस्माकं भाषा अस्माकं गुरुकुलम् धन्यवादाः इदानीम् अहम् आद्याम् आह्वयामि वेदिकायां कृपया अगस्त्य प्रतिज्ञावचनं वदतु इति.
Now we invite Adya for the Agastya Pledge.
भारतो मम देशोऽयं भारतीयाश्च बान्धवाः परानुरिक्तरस्मिन् मे देशे अस्ति मम सर्वदा समृद्धा विविधाशास्य या देशस्य परम्पराः सन्ति ता प्रतिमे नित्यम् अभिमानोन्नतं शिरः. धन्यवादः.
Thank you so much, Adya. Can we have a stronger round of applause? Thank you so much.
इदानीं प्रार्थना श्लोकं शृण्वन् आगच्छन्तु.
Now we have the students of Agastya Gurukulam for the Prarthana Shlokas.
Pavitra-
I invite all of you guys to join your hands.
Pavitra and her group
And,
प्रार्थना श्लोकं वदन्ति.
Yes, join your hands along with the children for the Prarthana Shlokas. Please hold your mics. Home. Home. Yeah, there you go.
वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः.
इदानीं
Thank you.
पृथ्वीराजः आगच्छतु अद्यतन पञ्चाङ्गं वदतु इति प्रार्थयामि.
Now we have Prithviraj for today's Panchanga. Panchanga is Bharatiya's way of calculating and understanding time. So we have Prithviraj for today's Panchanga.
नमस्ते मम नाम पृथ्वीराजः इदानीम् अहम् अद्यतनपञ्चाङ्गं वदामि. शुभकृत् नाम संवत्सरः उत्तरायणं वसन्त ऋतु चैत्रमासः कृष्णपक्षः एकादशी तिथिः भानुवासरः नक्षत्रं शतभिष नक्षत्रं योगः शुक्लयोगः करणं बालवकरणं. धन्यवादः. शुभसायम्.
धन्यवादः पृथ्वी. इदानीम् अहम् अस्माकम् अगस्त्यगुरुकुलस्य कार्यसाधिका नम्रता भगिनीम् आह्वयामि.
Namratha Venkataraman holds.
सर्वेषां कृते स्वागतं कर्तुं
Yeah.
कृपया.
Let's have a huge round of applause for Namratha Venkataraman. A little bit about her profile. She holds a bachelor's degree in architecture from Pune University and a master's, that is MS, from the University of Texas at Austin University, at Austin, USA. She has done extensive research and published papers on public urban design and temple architecture. Namratha was a part of Austin Hindu temple construction core team. She's trained in Bharatanatyam and she spent a decade pursuing creative arts. And as she has achieved many things in her life, one of the things that very relevant for today is that she is a proud Agastya parent herself. So, stage over to her.
Namaste. Namaste. Today is a wonderful day, not just because of the wonderful weather, but because all of us have gathered here today with a similar mindset, with a feeling in our hearts for Bharatam, for gratitude and respect for our ancestry and civilization, with a vision for the future of future generation, and hopes for reviving a certain kind of education system. So while we gather today with that mindset, I warmly welcome you to Madhumati Parisaraha, Agastya Gurukulam's first physical campus. As we enter, as we celebrate a milestone, what I call a milestone event in a civilizational mission. A civilizational mission, what is it? It is a mission that derives its inspiration from our civilizational ethos and knowledge base. It has a long-lasting impact. It has a strong foundation and is based off certain fundamental rigor and excellence. And that is what Agastya Gurukulam stands for. Now you will say, oh my God, she's talking too much. Zyada nahi ho gaya. No, I will explain to you why Agastya is a civilizational mission. To start with, Agastya Gurukulam is a Sanskritam medium Gurukulam. Sanskritam as a language is one of the most it is the most evolved, complex, structured, yet full of rasa language. It has tremendous impact on the intellect of students, of people who not only have conversations in it, not only understand the grammar of it, but also apply it. That is what Agastya Gurukulam ingrains. It's ingrained in our children. Samskritam. Our medium of instruction is Samskritam. When we think, let me ask you a question. When we think of the best student, whom do we think of? Do we think of anybody in the recent times? No, we think of Archana. When we think of architecture, we think of Brihadishwara temple. We think of Padmanapuram palace. We think of Halabidu. When we talk about science, we talk about astronomy. When we talk about art, we talk about India and Patachitra, Bharatanatyam. When we talk about mathematics, we talk about magic squares, Katapayadi. When we talk about health, in COVID times, it's Ayurveda and yoga. So we always talk about something that came during that time of our civilization, which we can call as the peak time. And if we want to create that kind of genius again, we need to create that kind of education system again, so that we can create that kind of genius. And that is where Agastya Gurukulam comes. We are imparting application-oriented subjects to our children in Bharatam. Bharatiya children get Bharatiya education in the true sense in our primary source language. We teach subjects like Ganitam, which is mathematics. We teach Vijnanam, which is science. We teach Itihasa Bhugola, which is history, geography. We teach Kantasthikaranam, which is a beautiful way of memorizing grammar and retaining it and recalling it. We also teach yoga and Kalaripayattu. All this in the form of kavyam. Every day as a child gets up to go to school, he is excited, and so are the parents. And I can assure you that. Because this campus was not created by one individual. It was created by passionate individuals from around the world who have come together to create something historic because we believe in this. We have around 400 children around the world who are right now receiving knowledge from Agastya Gurukulam. 100 of them are currently in full-time school. Full-time is, like I was telling you all, a full dip in the Kaveri. You enjoy it and immerse in it fully. Every subject is taught in such a way that it internalizes. Let me give you one of the best aspects of Agastya Gurukulam is its curriculum. Let me give you an example of Ganitam. We have our HOD right here. We have a curriculum that is built in collaboration with institutes like IIT Mumbai, under the guidance of Dr. Ramasubramaniam Acharya, where we have a team of experts and scholars coming, and as we speak, they are right now working on it rigorously to build a textbook for our children. Mind you, there is no place out there where we can actually go to a library or online and go and pick up a textbook and teach our children. We have that in Agastya Gurukulam because we are creating it. Something that comes as an amalgamation of the current modern mathematics and of our ancient civilizational texts. We map them. We sit there, map our concepts, and we go to the primary source. And we have illustrators, original. You know, sometimes even when you go through a book and there's nothing written in it and you see the illustrations, there's a subtle brainwashing that happens because of the kind. We even focus on that. Our illustrations are Indic, beautifully illustrated. Our editing team, everything is meticulously done and then reviewed by our Acharya. And this is not something that we just talk about. It is implemented in classroom. We get direct feedback. It is not one form of multiplication, 6 forms. It is not one form of addition, but 2 forms. There is Katapayadi, there is Bhuta Sankhya. I mean, Bhuta Sankhya is such a beautiful concept, right? I mean, you can actually read a poetry and build a mathematical sum out of it. Because we do not look at numbers in isolation, as you were mentioning, that astronomy is what generated mathematics. And this is something we do in Agastya every day. So I really urge all of you to look at Agastya Gurukulam as nothing but a civilizational mission. Can succeed unless due to momentum of people and synergy of mindsets that come together. And I must stop and pause and appreciate our founders here. Want Bharati education, but we had 3 of them who had the courage to take the first step to start a school like this with this kind of mission. We have Srimati Vijaya Vishwanathan, who is there with us right now. She's a successful author, but also a fantastic mother. Vyagra Mata, I must say. And Archana Purushotham ji, who is a neurologist and a mother herself and a parent of Agastya Gurukulam. We have Sri Balaji Mahodaya, who is an entrepreneur and a big industrialist, but also a Sanskritam scholar, a Tamil scholar. Now, these are the kind of people who started this, because it was not meant to be only in the form of knowledge, but also application. Now, we want to decolonize the minds and create innovators and leaders. There is no way Bharatam can go forward unless the young generation. Now, I can tell you as an architect that if you want a building to scale heights, if you want it to be strong, long-lasting, and functional, you need to have a good foundation. And that is what Agastya Gurukulam does. And we will see some of that, a glimpse of it in some time. Hence, for that kind of momentum, it is important we all stand together. Just to build this campus, it took us 1 year. Because the ecosystem is never easy on on people who do such a thing. I mean, I remember how every day we would struggle to get a space like this. Now I know why, because this is such a wonderful space we got. Yeah. So this is a very, very important moment for us. And we are going to have multiple such centers. And for that, we need that momentum. I urge each one of you to contribute in whatever way that you all can. By enrolling your students. We have a wonderful admissions team waiting out there. Anything you want to know about our courses, we have after-school programs, we have full-time programs, we have kindergarten children programs, we have children who are teenagers programs for them, and we have art, we have Sanskritam, we have Kanthasthikarnam. These are phenomenal subjects that we teach, and our admission team will definitely give you a lot of input on that. Please make sure to go and meet them, and please do enroll your children. Because I can assure you, a sea of knowledge awaits you. It's fantastic. And that knowledge will be something that not only you will receive, but also your children, and you will be part of creating history. So thank you very much for participating in this joy with us. And I really thank all our guests of honors for that wonderful, inspirational discussion we had, because they are pioneers in the resurgence of Bharatiyata, and Agastya Gurukulam is one milestone in that. So thank you very much, and please be part of this. And at the end of this, I must tell you, I thank Bhagwan, Ishwaraha, And because it's an emotional moment for me. There were so many challenges. If the universe didn't want it, this wouldn't have happened. At every point when there was a problem, somebody would come to solve that, because this was the job of the universe. And hence, I know it's an emotional moment for us. Hence, taking God, universe, our acharyas, our students, parents, and all Indians together, let us move forward in the direction of a fantastic Bharatiya, truly Bharatiya education system. Dhanyavada. Now, I would like to welcome Vijaya Bagni on stage, because nobody can talk about the vision of Agastya Gurukulam like her. Please do. Vijaya Bagni. Namaste.
Namaste Sarvebhyah. I'm so delighted that you all could join us on this significant milestone of Agastya Gurukulam. I would like to welcome you also on behalf of Dr. Archana Purushotham and Shri Balaji Mahodaya, who could not make it today for this milestone. Now, we all know how deeply colonized our minds are. In fact, all our guests of honor here today are also invested in Indian education system. Shankran Sanu Mahodaya has written about
Check.
Hari Om. Yeah, I was saying Shri Shankran Sanu has written about Bharatiya Bhasha Niti, where he has done extensive research about the madhyam of education, where he says Matrubhasha is the best way to educate, or it is the best medium of education. I also learned that our other guest, Shri Prahlad, is a student of the Kerala School of Mathematics, has invested tremendous number of hours and years studying mathematics. He's a student of Western mathematics in his initial years, but has embarked on this journey. And of course, Professor Vaidyanathan, is a deep thinker on all civilizational matters. So here we are today at this milestone event, and we have embarked on a journey to decolonize the Indian mind. Now, in my own experience, I know that decolonizing of the Indian mind takes study. I'd give you an example from my own children, where they have studied prosody in English, so where they've studied meters, things like that in the English language, and they've studied Chanda Shastra as well. And I don't have to then endlessly tell them what is superior, which has a superior structure, what is thought through, which system has thought through the details really well, the nuances, the subtleties. So that is how you decolonize the mind. You don't decolonize a mind by just teaching your children a few shlokas and saying, things will happen. Once you expose them to Indic knowledge systems, they start wanting to know more. They want to study more, because these systems are well thought through and have significant impact on their rational thinking. So to truly decolonize our minds, we need to actually expose our children to Indic knowledge systems. There's no other way out. Now, unfortunately, education is going to take a really dark turn in the future, where you are going to have the UNESCO and the other, elites in the global, the global elites, if you will, like the Gates Foundation, who want to push a model of sustainable education based on sustainability. Sustainability is the buzzword that everybody is using. And one has to ask what this sustainability is all about. Sustainability is based on diversity, equity, inclusion, which is again based on Western ideas of social sciences. And it has nothing to do with education. In fact, the Piramal-funded Harvard Public Health Institute talks about how 2 + 2 is equal to 5. So that essentially is the woke math education that's coming to India very soon in all the public schools, and it's coming through the government, through the NCERT. So it's actually education is going to go from bad to worse. And with so many forces against us, we have embarked on this journey. I'll quickly tell you, Namratha Bagni spoke about how hard everybody worked here for a year just to get this campus set up. Now, this campus has come into being after over 1 crore in seed money, put out by the founders. We spend over 1 crore a year out of pocket, although we charge a fee. We spend over 1 crore a year because we're developing curriculum, we're doing all of this. And lots of hard work by volunteers, parents, our acharyas, our admin staff, and so many people who are just bandavaha, who are just related to us, who have helped us, bring us to this juncture. In fact, lately we've been getting inquiries from venture capitalists who want to take this, and because we've proved, we have proof of concept now, so they want to take this and they want to infuse capital and make us establish, franchises in different cities, like a McDonald's. And of course, that would be against our Sankalpa. We believe in, although we charge a fee, we believe in Vidya Danam. So anybody who finds the fees prohibitive, we will accommodate them. Yeah, because we believe in Vidya Danam. We collect a fees only because we have to create the entire marketplace. By marketplace, I mean we have to educate parents on why Sanskrit-based education is important. So people don't know what Ganitam is, we have not been exposed. So we have to educate the parents to say that this is actually a good thing for your children. And then we have to create curriculum with different scholars and bring in the textbooks. We are not waiting for the government to do anything. It's a bootstrap project. We are pulling ourselves by the bootstrap and embarking on this journey. So we have to create the curriculum. We have to then train the teachers, because not all Sanskritam teachers know Ganitam, for example. So we have to, train our Sanskrit teachers in Ganitam and our mathematics teachers in Sanskritam, all of that. We are also embarking on a teacher training institute. It's important to understand why such an institute is necessary. So one thing is content that we are creating, but the other thing is delivery, the what and the how. So the what is the content, we are working on that, but the delivery is also equally important. How do we deliver this to students? Do we have projects? Do we work in teams? Do they work individually? How do we structure this knowledge so that children can take it in easily? So we're starting a teacher training institute. This is not like your B.Ed. The B.Ed is apparently a waste of time, but everybody needs it because some institutes make money. We have to get rid of it altogether would be my opinion. But so we're starting a teacher training institute where we can churn out teachers who are familiar with this content and the delivery mechanism as well. So there is that project. And ultimately we want to have an accreditation board for this kind of education. And so that's where we will depend and call on eminent guests like you to help us get there. Because ultimately we want a board that values excellence in Indic knowledge systems. And we want all children to be running to that board and participating in that and getting certified by that, so that we churn out a whole generation of youngsters that have a good grounding on Indic knowledge systems and relevant Indic knowledge systems. So we are not doing this out of nostalgia, you're doing it out of relevance. Yeah. So all of this has come together. Lots of people here, and I cannot name, but it's taken sweat, blood, and tears of so many people that have worked very hard. Namratha Bhagini, in fact, has moved from Pune, for the past 2 months, just to get this started. And the past 3 days, she's moved even locally somewhere, from that place to somewhere close by. So that's the level of commitment. We have Sri Ramacharya, who's also moved in, living here, making sure everything is, is up to snuff. So I can't name everybody, but it's taken a lot of people, acharyas, administrative staff, our own children who've, our parents, from the rangoli that you see to, it's a labor of love. Everything is a labor of love, and that's why we can't get venture capital or do anything as a business model. This has to be done by the Samaj. Such education has to be done by all of us. So I invite all of you to join this yajna for education, because our forefathers had envisioned this, and it is our duty to pass it on to the next generation. A few generations we sort of lost it, but I think we can pick up where they gave us content and they gave us pedagogy. So we have to just dust it and then pass it on to the next generation. So thank you all for coming.
Thank you so much. Can we have another round of applause, please? It is absolutely inspiring, and it brings goosebumps when ma'am just said, yeah, we missed a couple of generations. Let's pick it up from there. I think with that sankalpa, let us move forward. I request all the chief guests and guests of honor to please occupy the seats on the stage.
कृपया वेदिकायां आगच्छन्तु इति प्रार्थयामि.
Yeah. And please have your seats on the stage. I invite all the chief guests and guests of honor to please be on the stage. And I invite our students to introduce our guests of honors and chief guests with a huge round of applause. Let us welcome the students of Agastya Gurukulam, Om and Pavitra.
वेदिकाम् अलङ्कुर्वती अस्ति श्रीमती विजया विश्वनाथन् इतीयं महाभागा. एषा महाभागा अस्माकम् अगस्त्यगुरुकुलस्य संस्थापिका अस्ति. यन्त्रशास्त्राभियन्तृत्वं समाप्य वार्टन् बिस्नेस् स्कूल् इति संस्थातः यन्त्रशास्त्राभियन्तृत्वं उद्यमनिर्वहणे स्नातकोत्तरं प्राप्तवती अस्ति. उत्पत्तिः तथा अर्थागमः इति विषयद्वयं स्वीकृत्य अमेरिकीय सिंहपुरीय ऐरोपीय संस्थासु यशस्वितया उद्योगपथे प्रगतिं सम्प्राप्य ततः परम् इयं महाशया शैक्षिकविषये स्वस्याः अवधानम् आनीतवती. स्वीयपुत्रसाकं गृहस्थितशिक्षणव्यवस्थामार्गेण दत्तचित्ता एषा आधुनिकशैक्षिकव्यवस्थां भारतीयज्ञानपरम्परायाः अनिवार्यतां सम्यक् अवगतवती. पाठ्यक्रमरचनं, पाठ्यपद्धतिः, सत्पथदर्शनं चेति एतान् विषयान् केन्द्रीकृत्य नूतनाम् आयामानां प्रकल्पने व्यस्ता अस्ति श्रीमती विजया महोदया. एषा स्वामी दयानन्द सरस्वती वर्याणां वेदान्तशिष्या च. इन्फिनिटी फौण्डेशन् इति सेवासंस्थायाः मुख्यसदस्या एषा भारतीयताम् अधिकृत्य रचितानां पुस्तकानां सह प्रणेत्री च अस्ति. अहम् एतां महोदयां सानन्दं स्वागतं व्याहरामि वेदिकायां. धन्यवादः.
Shri Vijaya Vishwanathan ji is a mechanical engineer by training and holds an MBA from Wharton Business School. After a successful corporate career in manufacturing and finance based in the US, Singapore, Singapore and Europe, she turned her focus to education. I extend a warm welcome to you, Mahodaya.
एतत् रेफरेन्स् कृते एव वस्तुतः एवमेव पार्श्वे वेदिकायाम् उपविष्टः अस्ति सङ्क्रान्तसानुमहोदयः सङ्क्रान्तसानुमहोदयः एषः महोदयः लेखकः उद्यमी च अस्ति तथा गरुडप्रकाशनस्य संस्थापकः एवञ्च मुख्याधारी अस्ति एषः महोदयः IIT कानपुर एवञ्च ऑस्टिन् नगरस्य टेक्सस् विश्वविद्यालयात् स्नातकं प्राप्तवान् अस्ति एतस्य महोदयस्य 6 प्रौद्योगिकी पेटेंट पत्राणि सन्ति अथवा अधिकारपत्राणि सन्ति एषः महोदयः आर्ट् आफ् लिविङ्ग् फौण्डेशन् इत्यस्य संकायः अस्ति अनन्तरं आर्ट् आफ् लिविङ्ग् हैप्पिनेस् इत्यस्य इति कार्यक्रमञ्च अध्यापयति अहम् एतं महोदयं वेदिकायां सानन्दं स्वागतं व्याहरामि धन्यवादः
Shri Sankrant Sanuji is a renowned author and entrepreneur. He is the founder and CEO of Garda Publications. An alumnus of IIT Kanpur and University of Texas at Austin, he holds 6 technology patents. He is a part of the Art of Living Foundation and also works as a faculty for the Art of Living Happiness program. I extend a warm welcome to you, Mahodaya.
I request Sankrant Sanuji to share a few words with the audience. Can we have a huge round of applause for our guest? Step down.
Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. It's so wonderful to be here. And I have to confess, I feel very underqualified to be in this gathering. I wish I could actually go back and start my schooling again. And I wish I could enroll in Agastya Gurukulam as a child. Because then I would start to have a taste of real education. And I think this is really what is needed. And among my wishes is that I could give this talk in Sanskrit. So I will resolve to do that. So in the 5-year anniversary when I'm here, I'm going to do my Sambhashanam in Sanskritam. So there is so many layers and so many things to talk about. I'll take on a few of the things that Vijaya Bhagini mentioned, which is this notion of what it means to decolonize. What it means to decolonize us, our own mind, and also to decolonize the Indian system, if you will. I would say there are institutional colonization that is present in India, and the biggest instrument for colonization remains the Indian state. I actually gave a talk on this, India as a colonial state. If you look at all the institutions of the state, whether it's the judiciary, whether it's the bureaucracy, the executive, however the structure happened, even the constitution, is more or less a replica of the British India Act that was passed in British Parliament with no Indian representation whatsoever. So almost the entire structure that we've inherited after we called ourselves independent, which ironically was called Swatantra, but Swatantra only happens when it's our Tantra. But we don't have our Tantra. We have somebody else's Tantra that is governing us. So all of the systems that are in place are colonial systems, from the relationship that we have, when we go out on the street, the relationship that the police wala has with us is a colonial relationship. The relationship when we stand in front of the judge is a colonial relationship. The relationship that the power bearers have with us is a colonial relationship. And the root of the continuation of the colonial state is in education. So the education system is what is the big recolonization technique that India has. So every time we put our children into the colonial education system, they come out with all those assumptions, all those patterns, all those stereotypes that the colonial system taught us. I also went to a convent school. I have all these stereotypes. In fact, when I wrote the book, The English Medium Myth, it actually came from my own realization of my own colonization. Because I went and I visited all these countries. I went to over 50 countries in the world to study language. And I saw that all the countries that actually are considered developed by other countries are using their own language. It is only we in India who are thinking that we have to use English and that's how we are going to go ahead. But if you go to Japan, that's not how they are getting ahead. If you go to Germany, that's not how they are getting ahead. If you go to Israel, that's not how they are getting ahead. If you go to China, which is now creating more artificial intelligence patents just by a modern standard than America is. All of them in Chinese medium, they study up to the graduate level in Chinese medium. All their patents are also in Chinese medium. So what I found was that it is our own assumptions that have kept us colonized. But even changing the language medium is not going to be sufficient. What Vijaya ji and others have really done is we have to go to the next level, and it has been my dream for many, many years to create an intervention in education, and I feel so honored and privileged and joyous to be here on the stage to see a seed of that dream actually come to fruition, and I think this is going to become a big banyan tree. It's just the starting point. It's going to become a very big banyan tree. And so I'm not going to take too much of the time. For the decolonization to happen, not only do we have to start to think in our own language, to think with our own vocabulary, but so far even the work on decolonization comes to us from outside. Right? There is some post-colonial scholar sitting in Harvard that's going to tell us how we are going to decolonize ourselves and create subaltern studies and create all these things. So the stack of scholarship on which that work is based is itself colonial, and that causes a problem because that stack is based on false knowledge. And it's based on false knowledge because it does not have a right model of who I am. All of the Indic systems come from this question of koham. Who am I? Right? From who am I and from a realization of who I am, only then can I start to branch out and present knowledge that occurs in all of those domains. So a civilization that does not have a proper understanding of who I am cannot actually give a proper understanding of anything else as well. And this is why the West is actually in great pain today. It's a declining civilization, but not only is it declining, it is in great turmoil and it is in great pain. Almost 1/5 of the people in the United States are on psychiatric medication. 20% of the people in a country are on psychiatric medication. Imagine how sick that civilization must be. So we have a responsibility, and this is why what the work in Agastya Gurukulam is so important. We are not actually even, we can use the word revival, but I don't even like the term. We are not even trying to revive anything. Our tradition is nit nutan. It is always new. There is nothing to revive. We just have to bring it into our consciousness once more. Because all of that tradition, all of that knowledge is in the Akasha. It's already there. It's already present. It's all we have to do is become the patra so that that energy can descend and we can become a vahana for it. That's it. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
become a patra and be a vahana. What a wonderful. Can we have another huge round of applause from Sankrant Sanuji? I invite the students to, students on the dais for the introduction of our next guest of honor.
वेदिकाम् अलङ्कुर्वन् अस्ति श्री वैद्यनाथन् आर् वैद्यनाथन् महोदयः डॉक्टर आर् वैद्यनाथन् महोदयः एषः महोदयः IIM बेङ्गलूरु संस्थातः सेवानिवृत्तः प्राध्यापकः अस्ति चेन्नै नगरस्थ लॉयला विश्वविद्यालयस्य च स्नातकः अस्ति चेन्नै नगरस्थ लॉयला कलाशालायां स्नातकं प्राप्य IIM कलकत्ता मध्ये विद्यावारिधिं प्राप्य तत्रैव किञ्चित् कालं यावत् अध्यापितवान् एषः महोदयः बहुषु देशेषु शिक्षाक्षेत्रेषु बहुविधकार्याणि साधितवान् बहून् विदरान् अपि प्राप्तवान् अनन्तरं बहून् ग्रन्थान् अपि लिखितवान् अहम् एतं महोदयं वेदिकायां सानन्दं स्वागतं व्याहरामि कृपया केचन प्रेरकशब्दान् वदतु कृपया
Dr. R. Vaidyanathan Ji is a retired professor of finance from IIM Bangalore. He graduated from Loyola College, Chennai, obtained his PhD from IIM Calcutta, and worked there for a while. He has secured many accomplishments in the field of education in various countries, received several titles, and has also written many books. I extend a warm and joyful welcome to you, Mahodaya.
I told that say some.
I invite Dr. Vaidyanathan Ji to please share with us a few words of his wisdom.
Good evening, friends. You should never give a mic to a professor and say a few words. It doesn't happen like that. Anyhow, so our good friend, she was mentioning about we lost in between and now we are reviving, and of course he had his own point on that. I was just remembering what actually took place. Interesting, in 1980s, first time the Japanese were planning to export cars to Europe and US. So that time there were a lot of skepticism. Wall Street Journal and New York Times told Japanese what cars, maximum these metallic cars, small ones which the children use, that they would be sending. This is what the cartoon they did. And they were very not sure at all. But Japanese did send cars, and slowly it picked up. And within 3-4 years, they had a good market share, 5 to 6%. Or many people were buying it as a second car and all that. And there was also this fuel price increase. So the small cars were very useful. And so many ways they tried to reduce it. Like France told, all cars can be imported only through Marseille, so one particular port, and all documentation only in French. We won't accept in any other language, English, Japanese, nothing. Only 4 or 5 cars were processed per day. And still the market was coming up. So they were really puzzled. Where from these people are making cars? Because they told that, Japanese, Chinese, Indian, they all stay in the mountains and meditate and pray to God, and suddenly this automobile and other thing. And so OECD that time, and along with Oxford, they formed a group. Angus Madison, one of the very renowned Norwegian economists, he was head of that 50-member team to study how did this come about. So they did, it had a linguist, it had a geography specialist, it had archaeologist, all type of disciplines. They came out with a very interesting study. They told from 1st century after Christ, AD, 2nd century, 3rd century, every century, till 1828, correct? India and China had more than 50% of the global income. Every century, end of every century, these two countries were the dominant. Around 1820, they lost their importance because of this industrial revolution, colonization, so many things. So, Angus Madison, the renowned economist, he coined the word. He told these are not emerging markets, these are re-emerging markets. They are retrieving where they were already. It's not something new. We should realize that. So same way I would say, some of you might have heard about Dharampal. He has done extensive study in the area of our Gurukulam system and other thing around 1820, using all the original documents in the British Museum and other thing. He found that there were huge amount of number of schools and other thing, which were destroyed due to English education, Macaulay and all that thing. So he mentioned also the same thing. We have to retrieve where we are. I think this is one of the important steps and milestone in trying to retrieve where we were. It's not something new or anything. It's there as what the Russian call ambient conflict. It's a coal which is burning, but not on a full fire, nor it is completely gone. It's covered with ash. And Gurukulam like this will remove the ash, puff it little away, and then the fire will be lit. I think this is the initiation which we have to get it actually. And this is a very, very important and a major step. And she told about our own children as well as I think the mothers will play a very, very major role in terms of this thing. I always maintain every platform, I tell them. My British colleague once asked me why Indian mothers are obsessed with their children's education. He has observed it. He has come to India also. He said India, Indian mother and Chinese mothers are so much thinking about their children's education, which is, everybody knows actually. Other day I was in another home and I asked the boy, which class you are studying. The father told 6th standard. The boy told, Appa, I am in 8th standard. So that is fathers want much know about, but ask the mother, she will know what is his homework, who are his girlfriends, all these worries will be there. What type of thing he is looking at So I told my colleague at US, you don't understand, our Indian mothers are so obsessed for the simple reason, every married woman wants her children to be better than her husband. Very simple. Because this cannot be rectified. This cannot be changed at this age, So what my sister says, at least furniture we can move around. But people like you, what do we do? Nothing. Where you are, you sit like that. I call them as ambassador cards. You can't sell it, you can't buy, get a thing. You can paint it and keep it. That's all. So that is the desire of each one of the mothers. So according to me, mothers play a very, very large role, an important role. They should be convinced that this is going to be of much use to the children, and I'm very sure this is a small, the spark. Always small parks are the ones which create huge fires much later. So this park should come up and should flourish. And all of us in our own way will like to help this park to grow. That I can assure that this will be a small initiative, but a very, very big step for the humanity as such, I would say. And thank you for inviting me for this splendid evening, and thanks for the kind introduction to the girl also. Right? Thank you.
वेदिकाम् अलङ्कुर्वन् अस्ति श्री डी.एन्. प्रहलाद महोदयः। विकसनकालतः इन्फोसिस् टेक्नालजीस् इत्यस्याः संस्थायाः वरिष्ठ उपाध्यक्षः तथा मूलभूतगणस्य मूल्याङ्कितसदस्यः इति रूपेण कार्यं कृत्वा अस्याः संस्थायाः यशस्वितया वर्धनाय शिखरप्राप्तये च महान्तं परिश्रमं कृतवान् अस्ति अयं श्रीमान् डी.एन्. प्रहलादः महोदयः। अधुना इन्फोसिस् सञ्चालकगणे स्वतन्त्रनिर्देशकः अस्ति। अयं महाशयः बेङ्गलूरु नगरस्थायाः IISC इति ख्यातायाः गौरवपूर्णायाः भारतीयविज्ञानसंस्थायाः स्वीयम् अभियन्त्रस्नातकं प्राप्तवान् अस्ति। अहम् एतं महोदयं सानन्दं स्वागतं व्याहरामि। एवञ्च एतं महोदयं केचन प्रेरकशब्दान् वदतु इति प्रार्थये। धन्यवादाः।
Currently an independent director on the board of Infosys, formerly a senior vice president and a valued member of the core team of Infosys Technologies from its early days, Mr. D.N. Prahaladji played a pivotal role in that company's growth, contributing significantly in its quest of excellence. Shri Prahlad has a bachelor's degree in engineering from the prestigious Indian Institute of Science, or IISc, Bangalore. I extend a joyful welcome to you, Mahodaya.
I invite Prahaladji to share a few words of wisdom.
First of all, thank you, Vijaya, for having me here this afternoon. It's a wonderful evening. I never imagined when you talked to me that it'd be this nice. For the first time in so many years, after my grandfather passed away, I'm hearing Sanskrit. Okay? I mean, the last conversations I had was with my grandfather, who used to make up stories for me so that I could learn Sanskrit. And, this is very nostalgic and an emotional moment for me as well. To understand that there is something called a Sanskrit medium school. I never imagined in my lifetime this would happen, but it's happening. I'll tell you a small story. I went to buy milk in Israel. You may think, what is the big deal about buying milk in Israel? Because my colleague and my ex-boss wanted 2% milk. After a lot of search, I found the number 2, in one of the cartons, in every shop. I went to 3 shops. Why am I telling you this story? In Israel, everything is in Hebrew. Everything is in Hebrew. The milk cannot be bought. I understood it's milk because there is a cow's photo on it. Okay, nowhere it said MILK. Now, why am I talking about Israel? Because, Vijaya, there is a precedence. Hebrew was a dead language in all the, by all accounts. Today, it's a living language. I saw science being discussed in Hebrew. I saw biology being discussed in Hebrew. And there is a university which they proudly call Hebrew University of Jerusalem. And I was fortunate enough to go there and, participate with some of the, proceedings there. This can be done. So we can get Sanskrit to be something which is a living language again, which I think you have successfully achieved, because some young child like that speaking Sanskrit, gladdens my heart. I think it's on the way. We can do it. And Israel is a small country with only 10 million population. Of population, we have no problem. We have plenty of people. So we should be able to do it in greater strength. So why is this required? Why is Sanskrit required? This is, I think, a fundamental question that we all have to understand. Why is it that we need to re-establish the supremacy of a language which is essentially a difficult one? I'll have debates, I've participated, I've debated myself, why is it so complex, couldn't it have been simpler? Yes, there are simpler versions of Sanskrit available, which went by the name Prakrit, but Granthas are not written in Prakrit. They are written in Sanskrit. In fact, my fond theory, sir, you may not agree, is Kannada is a form of Marathi, and Kannada are a form of Prakrit of some sort. So what is it that makes Sanskrit better than other languages as a medium of instruction? For me, it's simply the structure of the language. It's impeccable. There is nothing which comes anywhere close, whether you take the Germanic language or whether you take, any other. English is, of course, absurdly unstructured. French is, at its peak. We don't even know. They omit half the things they write, especially if it comes at the end. Sometimes it is pronounced Javel as the L, whereas something else will not have the end letter. So all kinds of illogical stuff exists in most languages. So why is it the structure is important? Because the purpose of a language is to communicate. That is, unambiguously, what professor says, I must understand. That is the purpose of a language. And this cannot be fulfilled if there is ambiguity in the language. And that is the reason why we should have Sanskrit. Coming back, I'm an engineer. I build the future. I rarely go back. I'm not an archaeologist. But is there a reason for us to go back and study? I did find a reason when somebody told me, look, you talk so much about, my favorite author is Feynman. You talk so much about Feynman. You talk so much about this. Why don't you go and study this mathematician called Madhava? And I went and, was very pleasantly surprised to see and understand a few things about our schooling system. Mark Twain very famously said, if you want education, don't go to school. So Agastya Gurukula is certainly breaking that paradigm. Of that I'm sure. So what is the schooling system that we came through? It was what I call a teaching system, where people will say, Barkopa. Yeah. Square root of C square is equal to A square plus B square. The Pythagoras theorem. There's no reasoning, there was no awakening of the mind. Whereas when I read books of Madhava, it awakened me, because Madhava's works are never complete. They're in translation, by the way. And he stops at a certain point and asks you to figure out why the end result is there. Now, we cannot say this is all nonsense, because whatever he has stated actually works. His end result is never wrong. So therefore, he could have come to that with logic, but doesn't want to tell you simply because he wants you to learn. So there is a difference in our systems. So what the Gurukula system does is to evoke or invoke interest in a subject. The teacher's job is not to teach, it is to guide. Go on this path. I was very lucky in my life to have studied in such a university like Indian Institute of Science, which was like a Gurukula. Where we went, we learned ostensibly electrical engineering, but I was writing operating systems at the age when people didn't know what they were. And all this is because they taught us how to question everything, not to accept anything. So I believe that this Gurukula will do the same for its children. And somebody said, you speak a few inspirational words. I'm saying I'm inspired. Right? I'm the one who's inspired. So thank you so much, Vijaya, for inviting me. It's a great occasion. and may the school prosper. And like the professor made the commitment, we are here to help you in whatever way we can. Thank you.
धन्यवादाः संक्रांत महोदय कृपया इदानीं छात्राणां कार्यक्रमः भवति अतः कृपया आगत्य उपविशन्तु इति प्रार्थयामि धन्यवादाः वैद्यनाथन्जी धन्यवादाः प्रह्लाद महोदय धन्यवादः भगिनी
Okay, can we have another round of applause for all the visionaries, all the thinkers, all the wonderful people who shared their wisdom with us. Now, we shall start with the students program, the moment that we have been waiting for such a long time.
सत्यम् इदानीम् अगस्त्य छात्राणां समयः अगस्त्य गुरुकुलस्य छात्राणां समयः सर्वप्रथमम् अहं लोहिताक्षं प्रणवं च वेदिकायाम् आगन्तुं वदामि.
For the first performance, we invite Lohitaksha and Pranava. Come here.
Namaste, mama nama Lohitaksha, aham akshara varge patami, aduna aham ekam shlokam vadami. नित्यावसारे नटराजराजो नित्यावसारे नटराजराजो ननादडक्काम नवपञ्चवारं ननादडक्काम नवपञ्चवारं उत्तरदुकामा सनकादिसिद्धा उत्तरदुकामा सनकादिसिद्धा एतत् वर्षस्य स्तोत्रजालम्
नमस्ते मम नाम प्रणवः हम अगस्त्य गुरुकुले अक्षर प्रथम वर्गे पठामि हम महेश्वरात् आगतानि माहेश्वर सूत्राणि वदामि ऐ उन् ऋक् ए ओङ् ऐ औच् हयवरट् लन् न्यमगणनं जबै गडदश जब गडदश खप छटत छटतव खपै शशसर् हल् इति माहेश्वराणि सूत्राणि धन्यवादः
धन्यवादाः लोहिताक्ष प्रणवः
धन्यवादः
संस्कृतेन आरम्भं कृतवन्तः इदानीं गणितस्य विषये वक्तुम् आगच्छन्ति श्रिये आश्रिते च श्रिये आगच्छतु आश्रिते आगच्छतु
For the subject of Ganita, we have Shriya and Ashrita. We just had a recitation of language of the Maheshwara Sutrani. If I may quickly share a story with all of you, Panini Maharshi had a sankalpa saying he wanted a language so that he can share the wisdom with all those who will come as alive and as humans and things like that. That is when Shiva came, and to have played his Damaru 14 times, our little lad shared the Maheshwara Sutrani, I, Vun, Rul, Ruk, all the 14 sounds that came. Sanskritam is a language that came from that. So that's, I thought I'll just share that particular story with all of you. For the next subject, we have Shriya and Ashrita for Ganitam.
नमो नमः श्रीये किं करोति नमो नमः श्रीये अहं कटपयादि संख्यां पठामि कटपयादिसङ्ख्या वा इत्युक्ते किम्? कटपयादिसङ्ख्या इत्युक्ते भारतस्य प्राचीनसङ्ख्याप्रणाली। विवरणं ददाति वा? आम् ददामि। प्रथमम् एकश्लोकं वदामि। कस्य श्लोकं वदति? कटपयादिनियमस्य श्लोकं वदामि। अस्तु अहं लिखामि। अस्तु। नज्ञावचश्च शून्यानि संख्या कटपयादयः मिश्रे तूपान्त्य हल् संख्या न च चिन्त्यो हलस्वरः। प्रथमम् एतस्य अर्थं वदामि। नज्ञावचश्च शून्यानि, न अनन्तरं ङ कृते शून्यं भवति। संख्या कटपयादयः, कटपयादि कृते संख्या भवन्ति। उदाहरणं क एकं, ख द्वे, घ त्रीणि, घ चत्वारि, ङ पञ्च। मिश्रे तूपान्ते हल् संख्या इत्युक्ते स्वरा कृते किमपि न भवति। उदाहरणम् अर्धस कृते किमपि न भवति, व कृते चत्वारि भवति। न च चिन्त्यो हलस्वरः, हलन्तम् अनन्तरं स्वरं चिन्तामेव न कुर्वन्तु। किमर्थमित्युक्ते तत् किमपि न भवति। इदानीम् अहम् एकलघु उदाहरणं ददामि। रामः, र द्वे भवति, आ किमपि न भवति, म पञ्च भवति। परन्तु कटपयादिसङ्ख्यायां संख्यानां वामतो गतिः अस्ति, तदेव तद् 250 भवति। भवती अवगतवती वा श्रिये? आम् अहम् अवगतवती। इदानीम् अहं सर्वेभ्यामपि एकं प्रश्नं पृच्छामि। नौ वी आर् गोइङ्ग् टु आस्क् वन् क्वश्चन्। महाभारतं कः लिखितवान्? हू रोट् द महाभारत? उत्तमं, वेरी गुड्। इदानीं द्वितीयप्रश्नं पृच्छामि। नौ वी आर् गोइङ्ग् टु आस्क् द सेकेण्ड् क्वश्चन्। ऋषि वेदव्यासः महाभारतस्य नाम किं स्थापितवान्? What is the original name which ऋषि वेदव्यास kept for महाभारत? उत्तमं, very good. जय इत्यस्य कटपयादि संख्या 18 अस्ति। The कटपयादि संख्या of Jaya is 18. महाभारते 18 पर्वाणि सन्ति। महाभारतयुद्धं 18 दिनानि अपि जाता। Mahabharata has 18 chapters and Mahabharata battle went for 18 days. Dhanyavadaha. Thank you.
धन्यवादाः आश्रित श्रिये च। इदानीं पृथ्वीराजः अपि गणितस्य विषये वक्तुम् आगच्छन् अस्ति।
नमस्ते, मम नाम पृथ्वीराजः। इदानीम् अहं संख्यास्थानश्लोकं वदामि। 11,सहस्रायुतलक्षप्रयुतकोटयक्रमशः अर्बुदमब्जं कर्वनिकर्वमहापद्मशङ्कवस्तस्मात् चलदिश्चान्त्यं मध्यं परार्तमिति दशगुणोत्तराः संख्याः संख्याया स्थानानां व्यवहारार्थं कृता पूर्वैः। Just now you heard the number places of ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, etc. Dhanyavada.
Thank you, Prithviraj. Can we have a round of applause for the kids who just mentioned Bharatiya Samskriti and mathematics go hand in hand. From the concept of shunyata to the concept of zero. Like I'm talking about shunyata as a philosophical concept to the mathematical concept of zero, we have sarvasva. Everything is within us. There are things with us that others don't have. It is a sad fact that we have to sort of go back to a lot of theories that are existing in different places to rediscover concepts like Pythagoras theorem. From every little concept, there are roots in our texts, and it's a great initiative that has happened here, and what you just witnessed is no less than a miracle. So another round of applause for all of them. For the next subject, science or Vijnanam, we have Om. Can we have a huge round of applause for the next subject, Vijnanam?
Make it a bit higher. Namaste सर्वेभ्यः. मम नाम ओम. अहम् अगस्त्य गुरुकुलस्य वाक्यवर्ग प्रथमे पठामि. अहम् इदानीं विज्ञानविषये केचन शब्दान् वक्तुम् इच्छामि.
अहं सामूहिकचर्चावर्गः इति एकं वर्गं गच्छामि. तत्र एकविषयं वक्तुम् इच्छामि. प्रथमम् एकं मनोरञ्जकविषयं प्रायः मनोरञ्जकं पश्यामः. एतत्तु आधुनिकविज्ञाने नोच्यते इति अस्ति. तस्मात् एव तेन आरम्भं कर्तुम् इच्छामि. विज्ञानम् इत्यस्य विग्रहवाक्यं विशेषज्ञानम् इति अस्ति. विशेषज्ञानम् इत्युक्ते यत् ज्ञानं सामान्यज्ञानं नास्ति. सामान्यज्ञानं किं भवति एवं चेत् सामान्यज्ञानं भवति यत् अहम् अत्र पश्यामि बहु जनाः सन्ति. तत् सामान्यज्ञानम्. एतेषां जनानां नाम किं? तद् विशेषज्ञानम्. अहं विशेषज्ञानस्य एकम् उदाहरणं वदामि. आम्, एतस्य उदाहरणस्य श्लोकं प्रथमं वदामि. एतत् सङ्गीतरत्नाकरः इति उच्यते. तथापि इतोपि जनाः प्रयासरताः सन्ति यत् ततः एव आगतं वा इति. अहं वदामि. धमन्यो रक्तवाहिन्यश्चतुर्विंशतिरीरिताः कुल्याभिरिव केदारास्ताभिर्देहोऽभिवर्धते. एतत् भवन्तः सर्वेपि जानन्ति. तथापि भवन्तः न जानन्ति यत् संस्कृते एतस्य श्लोकः अस्ति इति. आर्टरीस् एण्ड् वेन्स् इति विषयं जानन्ति किल? एषः श्लोकः आर्टरीस् विषये अस्ति. अहं शब्दार्थमुक्त्वा तस्य पदच्छेदं वदामि. धमन्यः नाम आर्टरीस्, रक्तवाहिन्यः नाम ब्लड् वेसल्स्, 24 नाम 24, ईरिताः नाम उक्ताः, कुल्या नाम केनाल्, वयम् अन्तः खननं कुर्मः जलं कूपतः केदारं प्रति आगन्तुम्. अनन्तरं केदारः नाम कृषिक्षेत्रम्. देहः नाम शरीरम् इति अस्ति. अहम् इदानीम् एतस्य पदच्छेदं कारयामि. धमन्यः रक्तवाहिन्यः 24 ईरिताः कुल्याभिः इव केदाराः ताभिः देहः अभिवर्धते इति. इदानीं केचन जनाः अवगतवन्तः, केचन जनाः नावगतवन्तः. तस्मात् अहम् एतस्य पूर्णभावार्थं वदामि. धमन्यो रक्तवाहिन्यः इति प्रथमपादमस्ति. एतस्य अर्थः अस्ति यत् धमन्यः रक्तवाहिन्यः सन्ति इत्युक्ते आर्टरीस् ये सन्ति ते ब्लड् वेसल्स् सन्ति इति. इदानीं प्रायः एतत् आङ्ग्लभाषया अर्थावगमनम् एतस्य न आवश्यकं. 24 ईरिताः, 24 धमन्यः सन्ति. एवम् उक्तम्, अत्र उक्तं, परन्तु सः इतोपि न जानाति यत् एवमेव वा किञ्चित् अन्यत् वा. परन्तु प्रायः अभिप्रायः 24 अस्ति इति. कुल्याभिरिव केदाराः इत्युक्ते अहं पूर्वमेव उक्तवान्, कूपतः कुल्याभिः जलं केदारं प्रति गच्छति. तथैव अस्माकं शरीरे अपि हृदयात् आशरीरं प्रति रक्तं एताभिः धमनीकुल्याभिः वहति. ताभिः एव शरीरस्य पोषणं भवति. शरीरस्य पोषणम् इत्युक्ते बाडी नरिश्मेण्ट् इति आङ्ग्लभाषया उच्यते. अहम् एक अन्तिम पायिण्ट् वदामि. हृदय इति शब्दस्य अर्थः. हृदय इति तस्य भागं करोति चेत् हृ इति हरति इति सूचयति. इत्युक्ते हृदयं तत् हरति, रक्तं निर्माति, अनन्तरं रक्तं ददाति. अनन्तरमेव एताः धमन्यः तस्य आशरीरं प्रति नयनं कुर्वन्ति. अनन्तरं रक्तं पुनः याति तस्य विषये अपि श्लोकः अस्ति परन्तु समयः नास्ति इत्यस्मात् विरमामि धन्यवादाः
धन्यवादाः ओम् इदानीम् इतिहासस्य विषये किञ्चित् वक्तुम् आद्या अनन्तरं पवित्रे पवित्र आद्या आगच्छति
Yeah. For the next subject, which is history, we have Adya and Pavitra.
नमस्ते पवित्रे
नमस्ते आद्ये
भो पवित्रे भवती कुत्र पठति
अहम् अगस्त्य गुरुकुलस्य मधुमती भवने पठन्ती अस्मि
ओहो एवं वा भवती अत्र किं किं पठति
तत्र वयं संस्कृतं संस्कृतमाध्यमेन गणितं विज्ञानम् इतिहासं च पठामः
किम् इतिहासं संस्कृते वा
कुतो न इतिहासमपि संस्कृते एव पाठयन्ति अत्र
तर्हि इतिहासं तु हिस्ट्री एव तत्र विशेषः कः
शृणोतु इतिहासः इत्युक्ते इति ह आसः अर्थात् एवं पूर्वं जातम् इति इतिहासः धर्मार्थकाममोक्षाणाम् उपदेशसमन्वितं पूर्ववृत्तं कथायुक्तम् इतिहासं प्रचक्षते धर्मः मोक्षः इत्यादीनां विषयैः युक्तैः पूर्वजानां कथाभिः युक्तः विषयः इतिहासः
तर्हि को वा एतत् सर्वं पठ्येत्
किमर्थं तादृशः सन्देहः एतं श्लोकम् अवगच्छतु एतद्देशप्रसूतस्य सकाशात् अग्रजन्मनः स्वं स्वं चरित्रं शिक्षेरन् पृथिव्या सर्वमानवाः भारतीयैः सर्वैः अपि भारतस्य चरित्रम् अवश्यं ज्ञातव्यमेव
आम् सम्यक् भवती अत्र कीदृशपाठान् पठति
अहम् इदानीं मम पाठतः एकां कथां स्मरामि शिवराजस्य किशोरे घटिता घटना एषा एकदा यदा शिवराजः अटन् आसीत् तदा सः एकं दुर्जनं दृष्टवान् सः दुर्जनः धेनुं हन्तुं यतमानः आसीत् तदा यद्यपि किशोरः एव तथापि शिवराजः खड्गं स्वीकृत्य तं दुर्जनम् अनुधावितवान् तस्मात् सः दुर्जनः भयं प्राप्य पलायितवान्
आम् अहमपि स्मरामि एकदा शिवराजस्य पिता तस्य कृते सुल्तानं नमतु इति उक्तवान् परन्तु शिवराजः तथैव स्थित्वा गाम्भीर्येण उक्तवान् यत् अहं भवानी मातरं जननीं जनकं च विहाय अन्यपुरतः शिरः न अवनमामि इति
सत्यम् एवं बहवः जनाः धर्मरक्षणार्थं प्रयत्नं कृतवन्तः सन्ति किन्तु इतिहासः केवलं राज्ञां चरित्रं नास्ति आर्यादिबहुव्याख्यानं देवर्षिचरिताश्रयम् इतिहासमिति प्रोक्तं भविष्याद्भुतधर्मयुक् एवमेषः भविष्यबोधकः धर्मयुक्तः पूर्वजानां कथायुक्तः इतिहासः एव अस्माकम् अगस्त्यगुरुकुले पाठ्यते
अहमपि इतिहासम् इच्छामि अहमपि अगस्त्यगुरुकुले पठामि
धन्यवादः
धन्यवादाः इदानीम् अमर् वियान् गच्छन्तु तेपि इदानीं संस्कृतेन इतिहासस्य विषये किञ्चित् वक्तुम् इच्छन्ति
Now we have Amar and Vian to continue the discussion about history in Sanskrit. Can we have a round of applause for them as well?
Om Namah Satchidananda Rupaya Namostu Paramatmane Jyotirmaya Swarupaya Vishwamangalya Murte अरे अमर भवान् किं श्लोकं पठति हरि ओं वियानः एतद् एकात्मदास्तोत्रम् एतद् इतिहासे पठामः इतिहासे श्लोकं वा कथम् आम् श्लोकेषु वयं भारतस्य वैशिष्ट्यं पठामः भारतं तु ज्ञानभूमिः कर्मभूमिः तपोभूमिः धर्मभूमिः इत्यादि नामभिः स्तूयते इतिहासे ऋषिमुनीनां कथाः वा आम् आर्षपरम्परायां वर्धितम् अस्ति अस्माकं राष्ट्रम्। तत्र रघुवंशस्य कुलगुरुः वसिष्ठः, वैराग्यस्वरूपोऽयं शुकः, विश्वकल्याणाय समर्पितप्राणाः ददीचिः इत्यादि ऋषयः तेषां जीवनद्वारा समाजं प्रेरितवन्तः। आत्मज्ञानी रमणमहर्षिः भारतस्य सत्त्वं विश्वव्याप्तं कृतवन्तः। विवेकानन्दः, रामकृष्णपरमहंसादि महापुरुषाः आदर्शभूताः सन्ति।
इतिहास नाम महाराजानां चरितं खलु। अहम् एवं पठितवान् अस्मि। विश्वविजेता ललितादित्याः मुगलानां गर्वभञ्जिताः धर्मरक्षादीक्षाः रणजितं राणाप्रताप शिवाजीसदृश महाराजाः परिपालनं कृतवन्तः खलु।
न केवलं राज्ञाम् अपि तु शास्त्रज्ञानां चरितं पठामः। भारतस्य वैज्ञानिकपरम्परायाः विश्वख्याताः मानवकल्याणाय कार्यं कृतवन्तः। खनाद, सुश्रुत, चरक, जीवकादि एतं भारतराष्ट्रं विश्वगुरुस्थाने स्थापितवन्तः। पुनश्च तादृशवैभवं प्राप्तं भारतमातरं तथा प्रातस्मरणीयान् तान् सर्वान् अपि मनसि कृत्वा तेषां विषये अगस्त्यगुरुकुले पठामः।
सत्यम्, उत्तमः विचारः अमर। मह्यम् अपि इतिहासं बहु रोचते। धन्यवादः।
धन्यवादाः छात्राः। इदानीं तनिष्का एकात्मतस्तोत्रपारायणं कर्तुम् आगच्छति।
ओम नमः सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय नमोऽस्तु परमात्मने ज्योतिर्मयस्वरूपाय विश्वमाङ्गल्यमूर्ते प्रकृतिः पञ्चभूतानि ग्रहलोकासुरास्तथा दशकालश्च सर्वेषां सदा कुर्वन्तु मङ्गलं। रत्नाकरादौ तपदां हिमालयाकिरीटिनीं ब्रह्मराजर्षिरत्नाढ्यां वन्दे भारतमातरम्। धन्यवादः।
History. When we speak of history, a lot of things comes to our mind. But the biggest question is, what is true history, right? Is it the one that I'm taught, or is it the one that I discovered? Is it the one that I think my previous generation knows as reality, or well, the previous generation says multiple stories. Should I go behind? If I go behind, how behind? So history is a subject that is debated, discussed, introspected, and it is something that we will only be able to know when we go back to our tales, when we go back to our fables, when we go back to our culture, because our true history is our cultural history. And I thank all those children to have put up such a wonderful performance and presentation on our Bharata's Itihasa. Now we have a musical performance from Shivateja. Can we have a round of applause for Shivateja, please?
नमस्ते सर्वेभ्यः नमस्ते सर्वेभ्यः अहं मम नाम शिवतेजः अहम् इदानीं देशरागे वन्दे मातरम् इति प्रसिद्ध गीतं वादयामि इदानीं धन्यवादः
Can we have another round of applause for him, please?
Dhanyavada Shivateja.
Wonderful, Shivateja. You made this evening even more beautiful, if that was even possible. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
इदानीम् अस्माकम् अगस्त्य गुरुकुलस्य छात्राणां कार्यक्रमस्य अनन्तरम् अस्माकम् अगस्त्य गुरुकुलस्य संस्थापिका डॉक्टर अर्चना पुरुषोत्तम महाभागा तस्याः सन्देशं वयं शृण्मः पश्यामः च। कृपया वीडियो प्ले कुर्वन्तु।
Namaskara. We are all gathered here today for a much anticipated milestone in the short but eventful history of Agastya Gurukulam, the inauguration of our first physical Gurukulam campus. We are very excited about this new phase Agastya is entering in our quest to bring Bharatiya Shiksha to every Bharatiya child. First of all, I would like to heartily congratulate the Agastya family, especially the team on the ground in Bangalore, our staff and parent volunteers who have worked day and night to make this happen. Since decolonization is a core mission of ours, I would like to speak in a Bharatiya Bhasha. Unfortunately, we often do not have a common Bharatiya Bhasha. Our hope is that in the years to come, as our students grow up, Sanskritam will become that common Bhasha. For now, as this Gurukula is being established in Kannada Nadu, I will switch to Kannada. Agastya Gurukulavu 2019ರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಮೆರಿಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಥಾಪಿತವಾದ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ. ಪ್ರಾರಂಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಸಾಯಂಕಾಲ ಮತ್ತು ರಜೆ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ, ಭಾರತೀಯ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಮತ್ತು ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರೀಯ ಗಣಿತ ತರಗತಿಗಳನ್ನು ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಮೂಲಕವಾಗಿ ನಡೆಸುತ್ತಿತ್ತು. 2020ರಲ್ಲಿ ಪೂರ್ಣಕಾಲಿಕ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಶಾಲೆಯನ್ನು ತೆರೆಯಲಾಯಿತು. ಅಂದಿನಿಂದ ಇಂದಿನವರೆಗೆ ಈ ಅಗಸ್ತ್ಯ ಗುರುಕುಲ ಕುಟುಂಬವು ಬೆಳೆಯುತ್ತಲೇ ಬಂದು ಇಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಪ್ರಥಮ ಗುರುಕುಲದ ಪರಿಸರದ ಉದ್ಘಾಟನೆ ಆಗಲಿದೆ. ಇದು ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಬಹಳ ಆನಂದಕಾರಕವಾದ ಸಂಗತಿ. ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ತಿಳಿದಿರುತ್ತದೆ, ಒಂದು ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ದೇಶಗಳಿಂದಲೂ ವರ್ಷಗಟ್ಟಲೆ ದುರ್ಗಮವಾದ ಪ್ರಯಾಣ ಕೈಗೊಂಡು ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತದ ನಳಂದ, ತಕ್ಷಶಿಲಾ ಇತ್ಯಾದಿ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಜನೆ ಮಾಡಲು ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಬರುತ್ತಿದ್ದರಂತೆ. ಇದು ಕೇವಲ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ವಿಷಯಗಳಲ್ಲಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲದೆ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ, ಗಣಿತ, ಆಯುರ್ವೇದ, ವಿವಿಧವಾದ ಕಲೆಗಳು ಇವೆಲ್ಲದರಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಭಾರತವೇ ಸರ್ವೋಚ್ಚವಾಗಿತ್ತು. ವಿದೇಶಿ ಆಕ್ರಮಣಕಾರರಿಂದ ಆ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾಲಯಗಳು, ಪಾಠಶಾಲೆಗಳು ನಾಶವಾಗಿ ಆ ಶಿಕ್ಷಾ ಪದ್ಧತಿಯನ್ನೇ ನಾವು ಕಳೆದುಕೊಂಡೆವು. ಆದರೆ ಅದರ ಆಧಾರವಾದ ನಮ್ಮ ಋಷಿಗಳು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಗಳು ನಮ್ಮೊಂದಿಗೆ ಇಂದಿಗೂ ಉಳಿದಿವೆ. ಈ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಗಳನ್ನೇ ಆಧಾರವಾಗಿಟ್ಟು ಭಾರತೀಯ ಶಿಕ್ಷಾ ಪದ್ಧತಿಯನ್ನು ಪುನರ್ಜೀವಿಸುವುದೇ ಅಗಸ್ತ್ಯ ಗುರುಕುಲದ ಧ್ಯೇಯ. ನಮ್ಮ ಪಠ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ, ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷು, ಗಣಿತ, ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ, ಇತಿಹಾಸ, ಭೂಗೋಳ ಈ ವಿಷಯಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇವೆ. ಇದರ ಜೊತೆ ಮಾತೃಭಾಷೆ, ಆಯುರ್ವೇದ, ಸಂಗೀತ, ನೃತ್ಯ, ಯೋಗ, ಕಳರಿಪಾಯಟ್ಟು, ಚಿತ್ರಕಲೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ಸೇರಿರುತ್ತದೆ. ದಿನಪ್ರತಿದಿನ ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂಸೆ, ಸ್ವಾರ್ಥ, ಕ್ರೌರ್ಯ, ಅಸೂಯೆ ಇತ್ಯಾದಿಗಳು ಬೆಳೆಯುತ್ತಲೇ ಇವೆ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಪರಿಸರ, ಆರೋಗ್ಯವು ನಾಶವಾಗುತ್ತಲೇ ಇವೆ. ಧರ್ಮವೆಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಎಂದು ಕೇಳುವ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಇಂದಿನ ಪೀಳಿಗೆ. ಭಾರತೀಯ ಶಿಕ್ಷೆ ಪಡೆದಿರುವ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಧರ್ಮವನ್ನು ಆಧಾರ ಸ್ತಂಭವಾಗಿಟ್ಟು ಈ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಪರಿಹಾರ ಹುಡುಕಿ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶವನ್ನ ಮಾತ್ರವಲ್ಲ ಇಡೀ ಮಾನವ ಕುಲವನ್ನೇ ಉದ್ಧಾರ ಮಾಡಬಲ್ಲರಾಗುತ್ತಾರೆ ಎಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ನಂಬಿಕೆ. ಅಗಸ್ತ್ಯ ಗುರುಕುಲ ಎಂಬುವ ಈ ಚಿಗುರನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆಸಿ ಪ್ರಸರಿಸಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಭಾರತೀಯರಿಗೂ ಸಿಗುವಂತೆ ಮಾಡುವ ಅಭಿಯಾನ ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಜನರಿಂದ ಸಾಧ್ಯವಿಲ್ಲ. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸೇರಿ ಈ ಕನಸನ್ನು ನನಸು ಮಾಡೋಣ ಬನ್ನಿ.
बहु प्रेरणात्मक सन्देशः। इदानीम् अस्माकं इतोपि अन्या अतिथिः पुष्पा दीक्षित् महाभागा, संस्कृतव्याकरणतज्ञा। तस्याः सन्देशम् अपि वयं शृण्मः, पश्यामः च। ऑडियो
हृदय नहीं वो शब्द देते, वो बचेगा, बच्चा कुछ नहीं समझेगा, इसलिए व्याकरण पढ़ाएंगे। हमारे बहुत से बच्चे पूरे संस्कृत से जुड़े बिना हमारा विकास नहीं हो सकता, इसलिए हम आपके इस अगस्त्य गुरुकुलम के लिए अपना हार्दिक साधुवाद देते हैं और आपसे ये कहते हैं कि आप कितना भी रचवाएंगे शास्त्र, यदि बच्चे को व्याकरण नहीं आएगा तो केवल यदधीतम अविज्ञातम निगदे नहीं वो शब्द देते, वो बचेगा, बच्चा कुछ नहीं समझेगा, इसलिए व्याकरण पढ़ाएंगे। हमारे बहुत से बच्चे पूरे देश में, विदेश में भी हैं, जो आपकी संस्था में व्याकरण को हमारी पद्धति से, हमारी प्रक्रिया जो है उसका नाम पाणिनियापोष की प्रक्रिया है, उस प्रक्रिया से बच्चे पढ़ाएंगे। आपके कर्नाटक में जैसे बच्चे हमारे हैं, उनमें किसी का उपयोग आप करिए और बच्चों को प्रक्रिया पढ़ाएंगे। प्रक्रिया पढ़ने से बच्चा शब्द बनाता है और शब्द सिद्ध हो जाता है, तो उसको खिलौना मिलने से ज़्यादा सुख की अनुभूति होती है। बच्चा इतनी आनंद की अनुभूति करता है कि हमने शब्द को बना लिया, और बनाते बनाते पाणिनि के शास्त्र को खेलने लगता है। पाणिनि का शास्त्र कठिन नहीं है, पाणिनि के शास्त्र के लिए कहा है आकुमारम यश पाणिनि। पाणिनि का यश बच्चे बच्चे तक फैला हुआ था, छोटा बच्चा भी पाणिनि के यश को जानता था। तो बच्चे तक क्यों फैला था? क्योंकि बच्चा बच्चा पाणिनि को पाता था। तो बच्चा बच्चा पाणिनि को कैसे पाता था? जटिल कठिन उपाय से नहीं पढ़ता था, उस उपाय से पढ़ता था जिस उपाय से हम पढ़ाते हैं। हमारे पास वही मार्ग है जो पाणिनि ने दिखाया और हमने उसको समझा। उस उपाय से अपने विद्यालय में आप व्याकरण का आरंभ कीजिए और आपका विद्यालय जो है एक से अनंत हो जाए, अनंत की संख्या को प्राप्त करें। गली गली में हमारे विद्यालय हो, गली गली में संस्कृत शिक्षा हो, और बाकी विश्वविद्यालय जो बनाए जा रहे हैं पश्चिमी सभ्यता का विकास करने के लिए, ये सूने पड़े रहे, ये सूख जाए, इनके भीतर विद्यार्थी ही ना पहुंचे तो इनकी बिल्डिंग खड़े खड़े अपने आप नष्ट हो जाएगी। बिल्डिंग विद्यालय नहीं होता, वहाँ जो खड़े हुए हैं लोग वो विद्यालय नहीं होते। आप क्या पढ़ा रहे हैं? हम लोग पढ़ते थे, गुरुजी नीम के पेड़ के नीचे बैठ के पढ़ा देते थे, उनके पास था ही नहीं कुछ, नीम के पेड़ के नीचे बैठ जाते थे, पंखा नहीं होता था तो ऐसा वैसा हिलाते रहते थे, पढ़ा देते थे, वो विद्यालय है। तो बड़ी बड़ी बिल्डिंग, एसी बिल्डिंग, और जहाँ पढ़ाने वाली सामग्री देश को के टुकड़े करने वाली, ऐसे विद्यालय हमको नहीं चाहिए। हम जागरूक हों, अपने बच्चों को इस कुशिक्षा से बचाएं और बच्चों को भारतीयता से जोड़ करके, संस्कृत से जोड़ करके भारत के ऋण से मुक्त होने का उपाय सोचें, जहाँ जिस उपाय से हमारा भारत में जन्म लेना सार्थक हो। एतावदेव।
बहु उत्तम विचारः। जैसे पुष्पा जी ने बता रहे थे ना, छोटी छोटी उम्र से ही पाणिनि जी का माहेश्वर सूत्र से हम तब पढ़ते थे बच्चे, तो तब अब भी हो रहा है हमारे अगस्त्य गुरुकुल में। ये बात हम गर्व से कह सकते हैं, है ना। सो इदानीम् अस्य कार्यक्रमस्य अन्तिमभागः आगतः अस्ति। धन्यवादसमर्पणं। धन्यवादसमर्पणाय अहम् अस्माकम् आचार्य अपराजित् महोदयम् अत्र आह्वयामि।
After listening to the wonderful speeches from the founders and learned professors, we invite Acharya for the vote of thanks.
विशुद्ध विज्ञान घन स्वरूपम विज्ञान विश्राणन बद्ध दीक्षम दयानिधिं देहभृतां शरण्यं देवं हयग्रीवमहं प्रपद्ये। नमोस्तु रामाय सलक्ष्मणाय देव्यै च तस्यै जनकात्मजायै। नमोस्तु रुद्रेन्द्रयमानिलेभ्यः नमोस्तु चन्द्रार्कमरुद्गणेभ्यः। नमः सर्वेभ्यः। अद्य अत्र धन्यवादसमर्पणं कर्तुम् आज्ञप्तः अस्मि, तस्मात् यथाशक्ति करोमि। प्रप्रथमं परमात्मने ईश्वराय मम धन्यवादान् समर्पयामि। विना तस्य सङ्कल्पम् अत्र किञ्चित् अपि न प्रचलति, तस्मात् तस्य सङ्कल्पः अस्य गुरुकुलस्य आरम्भस्य कृते, तस्मात् ईश्वराय प्रथमम् अस्मद्धन्यवादान् समर्पयामि। ईश्वरेण दत्ता भाषा अस्ति संस्कृतभाषा। अस्माकं गुरुकुलमपि संस्कृतमाध्यमेनैव प्रचलति। पूर्वमेव संस्कृतभाषा विश्वभाषा आसीत्। तत्र बहूनि प्रमाणानि विद्यन्ते, एकमिति न। एकं तु अस्माकं व्याकरणं महत् प्रमाणमस्ति, परन्तु अहम् इतोपि एकं प्रमाणमस्ति तत् संविभक्तुम् इच्छामि। तदस्ति श्रीहर्षः इति महान्तः कवयः आसन्। तैः लिखितः ग्रन्थः नैषधीयचरितम् इति। तत्र नैषधीयचरिते इयं घटना अस्ति। नलः दमयन्ती स्वयंवरार्थं गच्छति। इन्द्रादयः देवाः अपि आगच्छन्ति नलरूपं स्वीकृत्य। परन्तु देवाः अनिमेषाः, तेषां नेत्रस्पन्दनमेव नास्ति खलु। कथं जनाः नावगच्छेयुः एते देवाः, अयमेव नलः इति? किमर्थमित्युक्ते सर्वेभ्यः देशेभ्यः राजानः तत्र आगच्छन्। विविधेषु देशेषु विविधा भाषा आसीत्। तस्मात् सर्वे एकस्मिन् प्रदेशे मिलन्ति। इदानीं वयं किं कुर्मः? आङ्ग्लभाषया भाषणं कुर्मः। तदानीं सर्वे संस्कृतभाषया भाषणम् अकुर्वन्। तस्मात् कारणात् अयं नलः अयम् इन्द्रः इति जनाः अवगन्तुं न शक्नुवन्। अयं श्लोकः अन्योन्यभाषा नवबोधभीतेः सांस्कृत्रिमाभिर्व्यवहारवत्सु दिग्भ्यः समेतेषु नृपेषु तेषु सौवर्गवर्गो न जनैरचिह्नि इति श्लोकः। तस्मात् तस्यै संस्कृतभाषायै धन्यवादान् व्याहरामि। अनन्तरं कुलप्रवर्तकाः बालाजीमहोदयाः, अर्चना पुरुषोत्तमवर्याः तथा च विजया विश्वनाथवर्याः कस्यचन कार्यस्य साफल्यार्थं शक्तित्रयम् अपेक्षते। प्रभुशक्तिः, मन्त्रशक्तिः, उत्साहशक्तिः इति। अस्माकं गुरुकुलस्य प्रभुशक्तिस्तथा मन्त्रशक्तिः एते कुलप्रवर्तकाः। तस्मात् तेभ्योऽपि अस्मत् धन्यवादान् समर्पयामि। अनन्तरम् अस्माकं प्रमुख अतिथयः आर् वैद्यनाथमहोदयाः तथा च सङ्क्रान्तसानुमहोदयाः तथा च प्रह्लादमहोदयाः, अनन्तरं दीक्षितपुष्पामहोदयाः। एते सर्वेपि स्वकीयक्षेत्रे महान्तः निष्णाताः। वास्तविकतया तेभ्यः बहूनि कार्याणि स्युः। तान् सर्वान् परित्यज्य अत्र आगत्य अस्मान् प्रोत्साहयितुं तेषां यत्नः, तदर्थं मम नमस्कारश्च तथा धन्यवादाश्च। तदेव उच्यते परगुणपरमाणून् पर्वतीकृत्य नित्यं निजहृदि विकसन्तः सन्ति सन्तः क्रियन्तः। अस्माकमयं यत्नः परमाणुः। तस्य प्रोत्साहनार्थम् एते अत्र आगत्य स्वकीयं कार्यं त्यक्त्वा आगत्य अस्मान् प्रोत्साहयन्ति इति तत्र वक्तुमेव वाग् नागच्छति। अनन्तरम् आम्, प्रभुशक्तिः मन्त्रशक्तिः इति शक्तिद्वयमेव मया उक्तम्। उत्साहशक्तिरपि अस्ति खलु। उत्साहशक्तिरूपेण अस्माकं नम्रता भगिनी विद्यते, श्रीरामाचार्यः विद्यते, बहवः आचार्याः, उषादेवी आचार्याः इति बहवः। अहं किमपि न कृतवान्। विशिष्य अस्य गुरुकुलस्य अस्य परिसरस्य उद्घाटनार्थम् एते जनाः महान्तं यत्नम् अददुः। तत्र न कोऽपि सन्देहः, न कोऽपि संशयः। तेभ्यः अस्मद्धन्यवादान् समर्पयामि। अनन्तरं गुरुकुले पाठनं कुर्वन्ति बहवः आचार्याः। तेभ्यः अपि अस्मद्धन्यवादान् समर्पयामि। अस्माकम् आचार्यः सर्वदा वदति, भित्तिं विना चित्रं नास्ति इति। एवमेव अस्माकं छात्राः एव अस्माकं भित्तिः। तान् विना किमपि अत्र न भवति। तस्मात् छात्रेभ्योऽपि अस्मद्धन्यवादान् समर्पयामि। पुनः ईश्वराय धन्यवादान् समर्प्य विरमामि।
धन्यवादः अपराजित् महोदय। इदानीं मङ्गलश्लोकं वदन्ति अगस्त्यगुरुकुलस्य छात्राः।
Now invite the students of Agastya Gurukulam for the Mangala Shloka.
ॐ स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु। धन्यवादः।
धन्यवादः।
With that, we come to the one second. With that, we come to the end of the inauguration event. Agastya Gurukulam's first ever physical campus. Can we have Madhumati Parisara, my apologies, Madhumati Parisara of Agastya Gurukulam's first physical campus. Can we have a huge applause for all the teachers, all the students, and all the management team who has put this together. Acharya just spoke about how without his wish, smallest of things cannot move. Tena vina trinamapi na chalate. The Jagat has to do a sankalpa, and that sankalpa just flows through us. It's all that is. And I am very blessed to be a part of this. I would like to quickly introduce myself. My name is Abhishek Ayyappa Sharma. I am a artist. I have been working in the field of adding value and aiding transformation since 2017. I have training in music, theater. I have about 7 diplomas, and I have reached over 25,000 students across the globe. And I felt this place needed my presence, and I have served it right. I hope the journey begins here. And a quick introduction about Acharya ji as well.
इदानीं सर्वेपि अहम् उषा देवी अगस्त्य गुरुकुले संस्कृतम् इतिहासं च पाठयामि.
Wonderful. So we were your MCs for the evening. Thank you so much for being with us. And with this, we formally come to the end of the inauguration event. Can we have a round of applause for all those who were a part of this? Now, here are a few announcements, right? The campus is yours. This is a community campus. Please come in. Please have a look at our classrooms. Please experience the place. We have some high tea and snacks arranged for you. We invite you to please have the same. Please interact with our teachers and know more about the institution. The registration desk is right outside. Krishnanji can just say hi. You can just contact him for any more details at all. And please share your contact information with us. If you haven't already, we will reach out to you. Right? And if any parent, if anybody wants to share your opinion at this point of time, the mic is yours. We will come to you and we can ask your opinion. Anybody wants to share, you can share. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you can just speak.
Namaste to all. My name is Irana. Basically, I was looking for this kind of school. I went to one more school. The school name is Tapas. It's in Kanakpura Road. It's basically a homeschooling type, registered under NIOS. They are into IG syllabus. I mean, the teaching is little bit same, but is in English medium, and it is registered under IG. IG means anything. Huh? It's coming under Cambridge. But the thing is, maybe they will teach everything related to the present scenario, but I want more than that. So, my son is right now in 9 years. At the age of 5 years, I wanted him to learn Samskrita as well as Shlokas. So I put him into Veda classes. Basically, my caste, I am not into, we have never heard that Shlokas or Samskrita anything. But I don't know how it came to my knowledge or my mind.
Sorry to interrupt. Please come.
Okay. That time I wanted to learn my kid the Shlokas and Samskrita. I was searching for some institutions. That time I got one near to my house only. Its name is Tatvamasi. They are also doing very well. So he is learning those things. But I wanted to shift him to a school like this kind of thing. I don't know, it is my luck. When I came to this Pakashala 15 days before, I saw a small board. Immediately I came here, I have inquired, and I am satisfied with those things. Whatever I got information from Namratha ji and Krishna ji. But I have few more questions. Because, see, this is really wonderful thoughts, wonderful, education coming to the generation, next generation, what they required. But the world is going like this. when we are coming in from opposite side, will they able to survive in the future? That is my question. Because after PU, my son wanted to be in IIT or wanted to be a, that's what. So that is what, I have some questions. That it's already cleared, but one more time I just want to get a clarification.
I can answer that question. I have two boys I've raised in a very similar education system, studying Ganitam, Sanskritam and all that. And both of them, the first one is studied in Stanford University in computer science, fully never went to school. Second one went to Georgia Tech, did his 4-year engineering course in 2 years in aerospace engineering. Georgia Tech is one of the best schools for colleges for aerospace engineering. And right now is in Bilaspur studying Vyakaranam with Pushpa Dikshit Mataji. So what I'm trying to say is you can straddle both worlds really well at the highest levels because this kind of education gives you logical thinking, which the modern education doesn't give you. So if you can do Ganitam and mathematics well, you can do engineering, any of those science fields really well. So I can guarantee that,
And what I feel is that people and the students who imbibe both parts of this knowledge are actually going to be the thought leaders of tomorrow, because the Western system itself is kind of falling apart in many ways. They've reached the limit for where they can go, and the Indian system has to be brought back again. So people who are carrying this will be the leaders of tomorrow. I have no doubt about this.
My friends, they are in the higher classes, so because of the language, maybe they could not able to go parallel with this. But I definitely wanted to be a part of this. I have already decided in the first day, and of course, my wife, she has already confirmed that he is going to be here only. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think we can take one more.
Yeah.
Maybe one more.
एकनिमिषं.
Yeah.
वसुवज महोदय, कृपया अस्माकं संस्कृतभारत्याः पिल्लर् इव वदामः. वसुवज महोदय, कृपया अस्माकं कृते कानिचन वाक्यानि कृपया वदतु इति प्रार्थयामि.
पिल्लर् इत्युक्ते स्तम्भः. सो स्तम्भरूपेण अहं तिष्ठामि. समाप्तम्. अस्तु, महान् सन्तोषः. अत्र वक्तुं मम इच्छा न आसीत्. अहं तु पेरेण्ट् नास्मि, अध्यापकः अपि नास्मि, केवलं सहृदयः अभ्युदयकाङ्क्षी अस्मि. इदानीं विषयद्वयं मनसि आगता. यदा बाल्यकाले यदा मम वर्धनमासीत्, लेट् 60s अर्लि 70s, तदा वयं सर्वे श्रुतवन्तः द मैकौले सिस्टम् आफ् एजुकेशन् and my elders in my family and my close circle, they used to blame Lord Macaulay. परन्तु तस्य उत्तरं किम्? अनन्तरं so many अनेकाः संस्थाः सन्ति. They started their own schools. Good. But what did they do? Hail Mary, Mother of Love इति स्थाने ओम सहना भवतु गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णु इति उक्तवन्तः. So far so good. परन्तु दौर्भाग्यवशात् they had to follow Kerala state board syllabus or CBSE system. They were forced to do that. परन्तु अत्र इदानीं तस्य समस्यायाः एकं किं वदामि उत्तरम् अस्ति. अत्र अगस्त्य गुरुकुलम् अस्ति. अगस्त्य गुरुकुलस्य एव एक पाठ्यक्रमः अस्ति. अनेन पाठ्यक्रमेण गच्छामः चेत् मैकौले महोदयस्य डिलीटेड कंट्रोल ऑल डिलीट मैकौले गच्छतु इति अस्ति. महान् सन्तोषः अस्ति. नाम अस्ति अगस्त्य गुरुकुलः. अस्मदीयः दाक्षिणात्यः अस्ति. हिमालयात् अत्र आगतवान् अस्ति. एवमेव अत्र वयं सर्वे अगस्त्यस्य वंशज मानसिकपुत्राः स्मः. अगस्त्यस्य प्रधानगुणः कः इत्युक्ते दुष्टान् स जीर्णीकृतवान्. वातापिं सर्वं खादित्वा सम्यक् जीर्णीकृतवान्. एवमेव अगस्त्य गुरुकुल अत्र अगस्त्यः इदानीन्तन राक्षसाः रोमिलता पर्वा बिपिन चन्द्र वा इर्फिन हबीब वा अथवा बर्का दत्त वा प्रणय रॉय वा तान् सर्वान् अपि खादित्वा सर्वं जीर्णीकृत्वा तेषां सर्वेषां हट् इति भवति. इति महान् सन्तोषः. अतः अयं कार्यक्रमः वर्धताम्. एतत् गुरुकुलं सर्वत्र भवतु इदानीं अहं श्रुतवान् पुण्यपत्तने अपि एतादृशं गुरुकुलं भविष्यति न केवलं पुण्यपत्तने समग्र भारतदेशे समग्र विश्वे अपि एतादृशकार्यक्रमाः भवन्तु एतादृशाः विद्यालयाः एतादृशानि गुरुकुलानि भवन्तु इति भगवन्तं प्रार्थये धन्योऽस्मि
Tadastu. Thank you so much. With that, we come to the end of this wonderful, wonderful event. I re-announce the announcements again. Any information required, the dignitaries are present and the contact information is available outside. Please share the information with all your friends, all your family, and all those of you who you care, because this needs you to pull. It's like, I don't know, I will leave this stage with this simple fable. In your own villages, in your own places, I'm sure you would have seen the ter, the chariot that is being pulled for God. When a chariot is being pulled, Karta is just a showcase piece, right? Everything else is done by the people. This is like the ter, this is like the Ratha of the education moving forward, Ratha of learning moving forward, and let us pull the Ratha towards the supreme consciousness that we are traveling towards. Thank you so much. Vande Mataram. So refreshments will be shared inside, all the information outside. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Jai Hind. Yeah. All those people who you find with the batches will also be able to answer your questions. Quick announcement, all those of you who you find with the batch will be able to answer your questions. They are the parents of the students who are already studying here. If you have any clarifications, you can approach them as well. Refreshments are shared over. Refreshments are shared over here. You can please go inside the campus, have a look at the campus. Refreshments are served towards the stage left.